Welcome to the Blind Android Users channel. This is your source for everything Android tutorials and demos, all from a blindness perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.
Hello and welcome to the 78th episode of the Blind Android Users podcast. Today I'm here with my co-hosts Warren Carr, Austin Pinto and Doug Cameron. And here in the UK, a lot of people have had a couple of days off work because we've been celebrating the Queen's Jubilee, which means she's been on the throne for 70 years. And it was pointed out to me earlier that isn't a Jubilee normally 50 years? And I said, yeah, they did that as well. Then 60 and now 70. I think we just like parties in the UK. In this week's podcast, recorded on the 4th of June 2022, we bring you the announcements. Then the spotlight is a discussion about all the new things that have come out from Google this week. Then there will be a demonstration of Commentary Screen Reader by Kareen, and finally, highlights from Talkback from Warren. Austin, how's things with you?
Things with me are very good. I'm just back from a vacation, and although it's very, very hot in Mumbai, it's like more humid than hot, and we are just tired of this heat and humidity. I don't know when this rain will come, but they are saying by this weekend or midweek we should have rain, so that is a good thing.
So, Warren, how's things with you this week?
It could be drier, Fee. We are having some rain here again and can't believe it. And I think the effect, though, is coming from the East Coast or the Southeast, especially in Florida, where they are having all sorts of weather activity going on there, tornadoes and torrential rainfalls and things like that. So it's unbelievable that out here in the Northwest Pacific coast that we're feeling that effect. And so we are wet.
Oh, we've had some rain. We had a thunderstorm on Tuesday. It was quite dramatic and exciting, and hailstones and everything. Amazing. I think your weather in the US sometimes beats ours for excitement, and
It really
yeah,
does.
I think I'll leave that to you guys actually. And Doug, what about you? How's things?
That's not too bad. Just got back from a small vacation, out seeing my parents. Came back to a bit of a house disaster as we're getting the main floor completely repainted. So, I mean, hey, it's everything's going good on my end, so I'm happy. The weather's pretty decent. I was able to do some yard work yesterday, so it's pretty good.
Talking about
Excellent.
painting, Doug, what color did you guys give your house?
Well, we've got one room, which is my girlfriend's creativity room, which is a very nice bluish purple. A lot more
Ah,
blue than purple, but you can see the purple in it from different angles. Our kitchen is a very pale shade of yellow, so it gives it a lot more color, a lot more brightness. And then the rest of the main floor is going to be a shade of kind of a blue gray. So
interesting. I like
yeah,
that.
like all the colors really, they kind of brighten the room, but they also kind of darken it at the same time, which is kind of what we're going for.
I think my wife would like your girlfriend's room because she likes purple and to where she actually colors her hair purple. It's just really odd, but it's beautiful.
It sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I'm Fee Dunn. I don't know if I actually name checked myself. So hello from all of us. And now we have the announcements from Austin.
So we have two announcements today. One, the first announcement is we have crossed 60,000 plays on YouTube and Anchor combined. So thanks to everyone that listen to us every week. And the next announcement, which is a bit of a scam alert, there is a lot of scam going on YouTube, not only on our channel but even on other favorite channels of yours. there are comments after every video saying that you have won this giveaway and so, and to contact us on Telegram. Whenever we do giveaways, the only contact method that we use is contacting us via blind Android users email address, which is contact us at blindandroidusers.com. We do not ask you to contact us on Telegram. So do not contact anyone because that's a fraud and you will lose a lot of money if you fall for that trick. So I hope YouTube addresses this because they are so legitimate that they use the profile picture of the creator. So end users, those who are new to technology, they fall for these scams. That's it from the announcements.
You've got to follow the money here. It's interesting, though, that they're doing that on YouTube. And I hope that Google wakes up and catches up with what's going on, because that's malicious. That's so bad. I can't believe that someone would want to do that. But, when it comes to money, there's no end as to what people can do to get that money.
No, I heard about one of these ones the other day where they text you and they say, there's a parcel ready for you and we were unable to deliver it, so click this link. And I'm thinking, no, you're sending a text from a random mobile phone number. You're a scammer. And also, quite often, I'm not even expecting a parcel anyway, so no. So yeah, some of these scammers, they're quite nasty.
But that's kind of crazy, though. Clicking that link is not going to magically put that parcel at your doorstep.
No, I
No
think they
need.
then ask. Well, I think they then ask for your card number. You see,
Oh
when
my
on the
gosh.
page.
Why do I need to pay in order for my parcel to be delivered? I've already paid for it, right? When I purchased it. So we all need to wise up to all these kind of uh, scams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not good. It's not
No.
good. Now, the spotlight is about what's going on in the world of Google this week. And I've been very busy with the world of Fee this week. So, who can tell me what's been going on with that?
So this week has been a rather big week in the world of Google, because we have some things that have dropped on us, and I thought it's important that we talk about this, especially there's some things for those of us who are blind as well. And I think, how about we start with Lookout? And that has to do with the image description that a lot of people like to use. And finally, Google dropped it because we heard about it. When was that? During Google I/O. Our friend Scott talked about the image description coming to the Lookout. I always want to call it Outlook, but it's Lookout. And so now we have it. It's rolling out. If it hasn't reached your phone yet, be patient. It should be there. But if you have Lookout in your region, definitely the image description should be coming to your phone or has come to your phone. So let's talk about the importance of image description and what it means to us, especially those of us who are blind, because Lookout is especially intended for those of us who are blind. But you can even use it if you're a sighted person. You want to capture your documents or whatever. But now, that image description. What is image description? Austin, you want to take a stab at it?
So image description is it's used with AI describing images to us, like how Facebook describes so and so people are there in the image, they are doing so and so activity. So even Lookout will describe it the same way.
I think, to me, even though I'm not into all that image description thing, but then there's a time, though, that certain things become necessary, that one use Lookout or some other app that would give you that image description. And I'm talking about especially when it comes to someone sending you like a picture of something with text on it, maybe a banner or whatever, some invitation, and it's all picture and nothing else, but the text is in the picture and all of that. So this is when that becomes useful, because I am then able to have Lookout process that and tell me what the text is. And this is probably one of the most important things, whether it's like a PDF document that you cannot read. And I'm just kind of wondering, how would it handle, maybe say I have a little document, which is a PDF document, and it's DRM protected. I'm kind of wondering if that would read it or not. Has anyone tried that? Well, it's just dropping, so we can't really say for sure, could we?
Presumably, this works with stuff you take photos of with the camera as well, and also stuff that's sent to you on your phone. Is that right? Can you use it for both?
Exactly. So if I take a picture using my camera and then I pass it on to Lookout, and Lookout may tell me, hey, I see a young man, with this type of shirt, or I see a young man or two people in this picture, or a young lady with her hair down, things like that. That's what this is all about. If it's just a picture, or maybe, hey, I can see a picture of a dog or whatever, things like that. Or if it's a text, like I said, maybe I just captured a picture of a piece of paper that has text on it. And of course, if I just send you that, you will not be able to read it. But when you pass that through and Lookout recognizes it, then it will tell you the description. Here it goes. This one is a text, and then it should be able to read that text to you.
I really like that idea, but I wish it was integrated into the operating system rather than having to open an app to do it. For example, now, if you go on an Apple phone and you look through your photos, the phone will just describe the photos. It doesn't always do a brilliant job, but it'll say how many faces are in the photo, and it might say maybe someone playing a musical instrument or something. It's sort of annoying to have to then open the image in another app, because you don't even know if you've got a lot of images. That's kind of annoying. So I like the direction it's going in, but I'd really like to see it in the actual operating system, for images and email, photos in emails and things like that, rather than having to open another app.
This is something we've been talking about, and it's interesting you brought that up, because frankly, I'm not happy, especially when I take a picture. I would like to have the ability to, rename that picture right away. You know what I mean? And besides the fact that it should recognize what I just took a picture of, but if it's short of doing that, why can't we have the ability to immediately rename a picture after I take that shot? For example, I took a picture of Fee. I want to just right in and there label it as picture of Fee or something of that nature. But I don't want to go back into my gallery later on with a file manager and just go to rename it. Now, frankly, if I'm taking a lot of pictures, by the time I get back, I would forget as to which one is which. So it's kind of, if we don't have the ability to have it described right away, or describe it from the photo gallery and telling me what it is, I think it makes sense to have that ability to rename, because even if I have you know picture recognition, it's not going to tell me that is Fee, so it still falls short. So I think for me, we want to take it all the way, give us the ability to rename our pictures or our shots as soon as we're done doing that, so that we know who I'm dealing with. Does that make sense, guys?
It does. I wasn't aware you couldn't do that actually in the Photos app, but I haven't really used it much so far. But maybe I will more with the. If you could use the Lookout app and it would then record the photos on your phone for you, in your camera roll, that might be quite cool. I think maybe we need to do a demo of it, putting it through its paces in a few weeks' time, perhaps when we've had a go with it. I think it's fantastic that they've that they've done this. It's definitely, like I say, going in the right direction, and it's a free app, which is really good because there are other image recognition apps that you do have to pay for, whether that's all in one go or a monthly subscription or something. So I hope that this app is as good, because nobody wants to spend money, do they?
No.
Well, not many people. I don't. Um, unless I get something nice.
Unless you really have to, there are times that we have to spend some money, but most especially if there's a free alternative, like what you have just mentioned, then unless, of course, you have so much of that moolah and it's burning a hole in your pockets, probably it's best not to spend it, because I would rather maybe go get some food or something, or some other toy. Like you just got your Sonos speakers and all of
I
that.
did. That makes me very happy.
So get something like that instead of dumping it on an app. I'm not saying not to buy an app. Of course, we buy apps all the time. But if there's a free one that does exactly what I'm looking for or whatever, absolutely, I'll gravitate toward that first before I go toward the paid solution. So I really like what Lookout is doing. And now this one is in a beta mode. It's not necessarily the final release. So it's probable that we'll be seeing some new features as it matures again and again. And so, again, this is just a beta. So we'll see what happens as it matures, right?
But I think that's really good, being honest and saying it's a beta version, because sometimes apps are brought out and you use them and you think, this should have been called a beta. It's not very good yet. It's still got bugs. At least they're being honest about that. I think that's much more sensible than just bringing it out like Windows do, and then everyone finds loads of bugs because it's their latest release.
Hey, Doug, how about you? Do you think this feature is of importance? I know you have a little bit of side. However, there are times that this might even come in handy for you. Do you think?
Actually, yeah. Like for me, I tend to use stuff like image description services when it comes to memes and pictures posted up on Facebook. So even though I do have that little bit of vision, I definitely see this being something that is, again, back in my toolkit for a resource. I know before, when I had InVision, I used their import tool for pictures fairly frequently. And then I just found it wasn't worth paying for. So now I've actually got the same, equal, if not, in my opinion, better tools within Lookout. So I think in a lot of ways, Google just leveled the playing field between them, InVision AI, as well as Seeing AI. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, and we'll want to throw in a SuperSense in there too, because they too have the same feature, and so we don't want to forget that they too have that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Fee, you are about to say something.
The other thing I think it would be really good for is reading what we call post here in the UK and what you would call mail over where you are. I don't know, what do you call post in India, Austin?
It's called post only.
You call it post, like us.
What did you expect, Fee? The Indians will always do things like you do out there in Britain. So
Yeah.
post is
Yeah,
post.
no, of course. But no, it'll be really good for post, because I find that apps like that aren't brilliant necessarily. For example, if you need to get a phone number from a letter, it can work, but it can be a bit dodgy if your camera skills aren't brilliant, and my camera skills aren't brilliant. But it can show you, is this an important letter, or is it just a load of junk from, I don't know, some local shop I'm not interested in, or is this something from the doctors, or is this from the bank? It'll tell me enough to know that. I've also used a similar sort of app on some food packaging to read the use by date, which was handy, but a bit of a pain, because I think they're often quite small writing, those use by dates. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it was luck that day. But I think this will be great, actually. I can't wait to try it out and see, how it describes various things.
Another thing, though, that Google brought to us this week, Google's big week, of course, and it has to do with those of you who are into emojis. I'm not an emoji kind of guy. And by the way, I hope that this integration of the image description might even help in some emojis and things like that. Definitely, I think it does, because I've checked that out with some things that someone sent me on Telegram and things like that. But Google dropped a lot of emojis, and we're talking about these features are not just for Pixel phones, because a lot of the times, though, some of these features, especially on Gboard, or particularly on like the Pixel 6 series. But now these things are opened to everyone. So it's just really nice to see that we're having these feature drops that Google is bringing to everyone. And some of these coming through the Gboard and some of them coming through the Play Store. And talking about the Play Store, have you guys noticed that there has been a redesign of the Play Store? It's a little bit of a getting used to, because it's not the good old UI that we used to know, but I think it's a little bit better if you ask me, and it's just a matter of getting used to that new layout. Have you guys checked it out? The only thing that I find annoying, most especially on the computer side of things, and I don't know if it's just at my end, is that you can't find where to search for an app. Has anyone noticed that, or it's just me going cuckoo?
I'm going to say it's just you.
It's just me. So why can't I find the search? Unless it hasn't reached you. But frankly, I can find, you know how it is if you go to the Play Store on your browser, and you can find the search field. Now,
Wait, why are you going to the Play Store on your browser? Why don't you just do it on your phone?
There are times that I'm not having my phone with me, and then I want to look up something, or I want to find something that I want to send to my phone, or install it to my phone, and I want to install it from my computer that I'm working on, and I can't find that. There's now a search button, but what I noticed is that if I click on that search button, it takes me to the help page. So
that sounds
what's
quite
up
annoying.
with that?
You see, I don't understand this concept of not having your phone with you. I don't understand this. How does that work? My phone... No, I don't understand.
Well, because here's what I'm
You're the
talking
Android
about here.
evangelist. What are you doing, leaving your phone anywhere but with you?
No,
Apart from maybe don't take it in the bath or the shower. That's probably not a good idea. But otherwise,
I never take my phone into the bathroom. And people who take it to the bathroom, I don't know, why can't you just leave that phone by itself for a minute? I just
unless
can't
it's playing
believe it.
music for you and you're having a nice long, or a
but I
book
can
and you're
leave
having a nice long bath like I
can
did
leave the
this
damn
morning.
phone in the bedroom while I'm playing that music on my speaker in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
You should,
Yeah.
but I mean, what if you don't have that speaker in your bathroom?
Sometimes you just like at night. I just use the phone speakers because I don't want to disturb the neighbours too much. So
they're already disturbed.
My neighbours are okay, actually. I quite like my neighbours.
Yeah, well, neighbors are
I'm
pretty
lucky.
disturbed. But no one is going to hear music from your bathroom anyway. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't be so sure about that one.
They might, because I'm in a flat. So there's another one downstairs.
Well, unless you have an earth-shaking speaker or whatever.
I do. I've got 2 Sonos Roams now.
Yeah, but you wouldn't take them to the bathroom, right? Maybe just one,
Yeah.
right?
No. How can you have stereo music in your bathroom with one speaker?
I mean, she's got a
Listen
point.
to that girl.
That's stupid. I did that before. Now I've got 2. I've got stereo, one on each side of the room. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I kind of find it really interesting with the redesign, but also what I like about the redesign, though, it tells you as to what devices of yours are compatible with the app that you're looking at, and I think that's a nice feature. So
Oh, is
you
that
know,
new? Did it not do? Because I never did the web version. Because I always had my phones.
no, no, no.
So
I
why
mean,
use the web when you can use an app?
yeah, no, this is for both, whether it's on the web or on your phone. You now have a section that, lets you know as to what is compatible, as to whether this uh, app is compatible or what devices of yours are compatible with this given app. And also, it has a clearer demarcation of, who is writing the app. You can expand that and see where it's coming from, because a lot of times, frankly, I'm kind of a little bit skeptical, or a little bit cautious, I should say, when I see an app and I'm not familiar with the name of the developer, or whatever. It sounds kind of strange. For me, I always want to know where an app is coming from. Yeah, because there are certain regions that I may not install apps that are coming from that region. I'm sorry, that may sound a little bit odd, but I want to know where an app is coming from, so I know whether I have to pay attention to the app after I've installed it or not. For me, it's important I know where an app is coming from, and I'm glad to see that kind of happening on the Play Store.
So when you say where it's coming from, do you mean where in the world, or do you mean who the developers are? What do you mean by that?
Exactly, what region of the world it is coming from, and it has the address or the contact. It has, a lot of the times, some apps will not let you know where it's coming from, or what the address is, or whatever, who's publishing that app, for example. And I think for us consumers, we need to know where something is coming from. If I don't want to install an app coming from someone in the UK, I don't have to. Now, if I see that it's coming from the UK, I'm not saying I don't install apps from the UK. I love my apps from the UK, for example. But in general, it's important to know where an app is coming from. Like our friend Rashikesh that we had on here from India. And by the way, lots of developers in India. Kudos to you, boys and gals out there. And I love those apps from there, because those guys are very responsive when you talk to them about accessibility and all of that. They fix things up. I like that. But then there are some regions that, the apps will be there, and you try to contact them and they don't give a damn as to whether they want to fix your accessibility issues or not. So, I want to know where the app is coming from. So if something, I'm going to bother myself about trying to contact them or not. So you know what I'm talking about.
I do, and also, I mean, there might be a genuine language issue as well with some apps. If you're contacting someone about accessibility and English isn't their first language, they genuinely might not understand what you're asking. So if your app is from an English-speaking country, you might think, actually, that will be easier if I have a problem with the app. But you can often tell things like that in the descriptions of the app as well. If the English in the description of the app isn't very good, that can be an indicator sometimes that you could have a problem if the app is not accessible.
And
But
they
yeah,
could
I think.
always fix their whatever, they could, I mean, they could always have a translator to translate what I'm telling them about and things like that. But
Yeah, but some people don't, and
yeah,
you know.
but if
I
you're a
mean, I guess it
developer, though, you
depends.
need to pay attention to
Well, it depends,
every.
because the development, you might be a full-time developer, or you might just do it as a little side project, and actually you've got really busy day jobs. So, not all developers are equal. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but if
that's
you're a
really good
if
to
you're
know.
developing apps, though, you'll definitely be open to comments or questions, because that's how you make your app better or
Oh
not
yeah,
better.
that's how
So
it
definitely,
should
you
be.
have to
That's the
pay
way.
attention to every single thing that comes through.
Yeah, that's the best way to be a developer. I agree. Not that I am one, but yeah, as I say, not all developers are equal.
Well, Fee, you could take up some development if you wanted to. You're still young.
I could, but I'm too busy writing songs and sermons and prayers and doing reading and playing music, and I've got quite a lot going on already. But other than that, yeah, I could.
Yeah. So let's talk about emojis. You guys like emojis, so if you like emojis, you're in heaven with some of these new feature drops
So
that
what
Google
type
has
of new
brought.
ones, what have they got that's new that particularly stuck out to you then, Warren? Because I remember, for example, when Apple launched emojis of things like a white cane and a wheelchair and things like that, is it anything like that? Or is it food? Or what type of emojis have they brought
Just
out
all
this week?
kinds of emojis. A total of about like 1,600 emojis. So we're
Oh, goodness.
talking a slew of emojis here, and I'm not an emoji kind of guy. So I really didn't even check them out because I'm not into emojis. I don't know what the craze is about emojis, but people live or die by these things, and I can't believe how it is that people like these things. And what did we do when we didn't have these things? You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable.
We couldn't graphically swear.
No.
Like, I'm sorry, the smiling pile of poo
Yeah.
is the most politically correct and amusing way to indicate that someone is a POS. Like, come on.
I know. But I don't mind the odd one, but I find it quite annoying when basically they're peppered everywhere. And probably because, TalkBack takes ages to say them all. I'm glad it does say them, because sometimes, like, I've sent my mum a message, and she sent me back a heart emoji or a 2 hearts emoji or something. And, so she's just put 1 or 2 emojis there. And my phone reads them to me, and I like that I'm not excluded, that it reads them to me. So that's quite nice. But yeah, when they can be a bit overwhelming, can't they? When, like, Twitter's one of the worst. Sometimes people change their Twitter handle so that before you get to their actual user ID that might tell you something about them, there's just a load of random emojis, and I tend to unfollow those people because I can't cope with that. It's just too annoying.
Like, does anybody seriously use the flag emojis? Like,
Yeah, they do. They do.
Like, I know, but why?
I don't, but they do.
Those
I know.
are the
I
most
don't know why they can't
pointless
say
emoji
I'm in
I
the
have ever seen.
UK. And it's like, actually, that's one of the ones on Twitter quite often. A lot of people have put flag of the Ukraine before
Yeah,
their and they're not Ukrainian. It's like a Ukraine support thing. But it's like, oh mate, can you not put that after your name if you're going to put it?
no, they
Don't put
cannot.
it first.
Just because you've said this, Fee, I'm now gonna go and put a smiling pile of poo on my Twitter handle.
Oh dear.
So basically, like we were saying, these things used to be like, these custom stickers used to be like Google or Pixel exclusives, and now it's up there for everyone, through Gboard. And so the whole idea is that if I'm typing something, for example, I want to type something like, hey, I'm going to the bus stop, and as soon as I'm starting to type, I'm going to the bus stop, and type the word bus, I could choose a sticker that just completes that whole sentence and have that picture, with that text, so I don't have to type that. So I think that's one of the coolness about
Really?
that thing that now is open to everyone. It's just no longer a Pixel exclusive, and I can see kids going to town with this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think kids would like it, and I think it's the kind of thing that might be quite cool if you were sending a message to a 4-year-old who can't read the word bus yet. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean?
Exactly. So
I'm like, what? Why? I don't. Sometimes people will put just a little emoji at the end of a Facebook thing, but I sometimes think, does everyone need pictures now? Can't anyone read anymore? I suppose if you're dyslexic, it might be quite handy. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of I think you're right. It's kind of a craze, isn't it?
And another good thing also that has dropped in this feature or feature drop, I should say, is the ability to now have your Google Play points as a payment option. And I think that's a really good thing because if you've been buying apps on the Play Store, for example, and you've accumulated those Google points, you want to turn them into a payment method. If you don't want to use your PayPal, you don't want to use your credit card, you could set that as your default if you have enough of those, and that becomes an option that you could use as a payment method. So I'm glad to see that happening.
So are they like reward points for having bought lots of apps?
Yes, every time you buy an app, like each dollar gives you a point. And so if you've purchased quite a number of apps, then, those accumulate. I think I have maybe like 400 and something points in mine ever since I started the point system. And so I could convert that and make it a payment method. And so instead of using my PayPal or using my card or whatever as my preferred method of payment, I could use my rewards point as my preferred method of payment. So I really like that option. So the more options we have, the better it is for the consumer or the user.
Well, and it means you don't have to spend actual money, and that's always good as well.
Yeah, you don't have to spend actual money, even though it's coming from your actual money that you've accumulated over time. But then, each dollar gives you a point, and after a while, you have a boatload of moolah to spend.
So how would I know how many points I've got? Would it be in the account section?
Yeah, it does show you in your account section how many points you have.
Oh, blimey,
Like
I
I
haven't
said,
looked in
I
there for
saw
years.
like
I haven't paid for an
400
account
something
for
apps,
years. I haven't
points.
paid for an app for ages. So
Well, that's what we're talking about. If there's no need to pay for it, if you have apps that work just fine, or most especially all the googly apps are for free, for example, the Lookout we were talking about, if it's free, why in the name of Sam Hill would I be wanting to spend money on something that I have a free app that does very well and I'm satisfied with? You know what I mean? I would
yeah.
rather use that money for, going to lunch or, buying that Sonos ROM that you have.
Or you should get one, and then after a while you should get another one, and then you can have your music anywhere in stereo.
Yeah, so
Yay!
see, I really don't care about the Sonos thing. I don't know.
I
Um,
do.
I,
You
I
can tell,
don't.
can't you?
I really don't. And I don't know. It's kind of odd that I don't, but I don't, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's my early birthday present.
That's good.
So yeah.
And another
So
thing we want to talk about, though, that also Google dropped is the sound amplifier, which was something that was exclusive, like to the Pixel phones. Now it's there for people, and most especially because if you're a deaf person or hard of hearing, you want to be able to kind of find a way of amplifying that sound. I think it's a good thing that Google is doing that.
so what sound are they amplifying? Is it
The
the
sounds
sound of
around you, or if you just want to hear a sound and cut back the background noise, that thing would do it for you. It's kind of like, hey, I want to turn this thing on and I want to focus on a given sound. That's what that would do.
So would it amplify sounds in apps as well, or just the sound around you in the room, or both?
I think it will do both. I haven't tried it because there's certain things that sometimes we don't pay attention to, maybe because they're not enough, line up or whatever. I mean, it's like things having to do with accessibility, like visual accessibility for those of
Yeah.
us who are blind. Yeah, someone who doesn't use those things may not even try that. So, like things like live captioning for the deaf, or things like that. I never check those things out because they don't necessarily
We
apply
we
to
don't
me.
need them. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't.
it's
So
yeah.
we kind of tend to be kind of lax and not pay attention to that. And I think maybe that's wrong that we take that attitude, isn't it?
I just wonder if it amplifies things around you or things a bit further away. Maybe we could start being like a new breed of, blind spies. Because we could use our phones as amplifiers and like listen in to people.
Exactly. Yeah, but these are some of the things, and of course, so we're looking forward to those things. And if you're going to be on the Android 13 beta, of course, this month we'll have beta 3 dropping, and we'll see what comes up with this beta 3. So I'm really looking forward to that. But at least for the time being, these are the things that we have that in Google's big week that we have that dropped on us. So
So are
kudos to
they
Google.
already available now? These
Yeah,
things, or are
they
they
are
coming soon?
available, but you know how it is that sometimes they roll out slowly in some regions and other places like that. But I know for certainty that these things have already started rolling out, and some people have already seen it on their phones already. So when we're done, you could check yours to see Fee, for example, if you want to check to see if that image description in Lookout is there on yours, you could check it to see if it's there or not.
Yeah, actually, this phone was telling me about a software update, so maybe I need to do it and then it'll appear. But it interests me. You're talking about Google dropping things, and I wonder if some of them bounce.
Well, it might bounce, and then
And
when
then
it
they might
bounces,
bounce and then roll out
well,
like a ball.
when it bounces, though, it bounces on you and me, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
bounces on us, and therefore we catch it because we're good at catching those things. And therefore,
absolutely.
we don't care whether it bounces or not. Drop that baby on me, shall we?
Do you want to talk about Wear OS beta?
Which one?
The Wear OS beta
Oh,
that
the
released.
Wear OS. Yeah, we talked about that on our mailing list. There's a Wear OS beta that people can opt in for your Google Wear OS. And also, we're talking about that Samsung also dropped its own Wear OS for the Galaxy 4 series watches out there. And so it's been a very busy week in tech, most especially the big guys. I mean, Sonos bringing that Sonos voice controls and all of that, Sonos voice, something that they have been talking about for a while. And now finally it's here. So this last week has been, or this is still this week, right? The week ends today, has been a very busy week for these guys. And so, yeah, if you want to join that beta, we'll have that URL in our show notes for the Wear OS if you want to be part of that, and look up at that in our show notes.
And that's it for this week's Spotlight. And now we move on to the CSR commentary screen reader demonstration. We haven't had much in this series for a while, but here's one today from Kareen.
All in this commentary demo, I want to talk about text editing, especially the granular editing mode. I will create a new note in Google Keep. I will type "this is a test," no space between is and a, and an R before the letter T, the final T in the test.
Home screen, WhatsApp, note, showing English, T capital T, H, I, S, space, this, I, S, A, T, E, S, R, T, test.
I'm still using the default mode or the focus mode. To move the cursor, I should go or select the navigation type that I want to use, whether characters, words, or lines. And to move between navigation types, I'm swiping down and up or up then down. And to move in the specific navigation type, I swipe down for the next, up for the previous. I'm using the alternative element navigation mode and the invert swiping gestures option. Let's move to the word navigation, swiping down, then up.
Words.
Now I'll go to the previous word by swiping up.
Test.
I didn't need to focus the edit box after I finished typing, but this is not the case all of the time. Sometimes you should refocus the edit box by touching its location on the screen. Let's use character navigation now, swiping up then down,
Characters.
and move to the next character.
T. E. S. R.
I want to delete the R letter. When I press delete on my Gboard, the letter the cursor is on will be deleted, and here the cursor is on the letter R.
F. Delete. Are deleted.
Now words again.
Words. Ted. Isa.
This is the is A. I want to insert a space after S, so characters.
Character. I. S.
I am on the letter S. Now when I type, the text will be inserted after the character the cursor is on. So pressing the delete key will delete the character the cursor is on, and typing will insert the text after the character the cursor is on. So the letter S, the cursor is on the letter S, so I will press the space now.
Space. Space. Is.
And I'm done. If I want to cycle between the top and the end of the text, I just double tap the text box.
This is an edit a scrollable bottom. This is a test. To end. To top. To end.
To clear all of the text that was typed, I just go to the function menu, up then right, swiping up then right, then select clear. I can also move the cursor, the editing cursor, using the volume keys if I enable or if I allow moving the editing cursor, but with the volume keys in the shortcut key settings, which is found in the operation settings.
Edit a scrollable. This is a test. Function. Clear. Keep notes. Note.
Now the text box is empty. If I want to do more stuff like selecting text and cutting it or deleting text, deleting the selection, I have to go to the granular editing mode. I can find this mode by several ways. In the main menu, in the function menu, and I can assign a gesture to reach it. So now let's go to the function menu and select the granular editing.
Function. Input. Open. List copying. Granular editing. Keep notes. Granular editing mode sentences.
Unfortunately, the character limit in the free version is 100 characters. So you should be a premium user to remove this limitation. Now, things are somehow different here. So at the bottom, I have
Characters.
the navigation types. I should double tap the one I want. Now the sentence is selected, which is in fact the words, but it was wrongly translated to sentences. And I have also the characters and paragraphs. The one that I double tap will be selected, and then I can use the normal swiping way to move using this navigation method. And also I can use Explorer by touch.
More.
Let's press on more.
Copy. OK. Replace. Search for. Replace. Undo. Redo. Multi-selection mode. Import. Export.
Okay, so I have those options. I will select the import.
Import. Open.
Okay. I can create txt files and put them in the notes folder in Gshow's main folder. I have the notes folder. I should put the created text file in this folder. And I tested with the UTF-8 encoding. I used Notepad on my Windows PC, and I use the UTF-8 encoding. The text is imported successfully. I tested this with my native Arabic language and with English. So I will import a text file that I created, and I pasted in this text file some information from the NVDA user guide.
Open 3 apps. Conflict effect. Dot test 1. Dot txt.
NVDA.txt. Let's see.
Manual editing mode sentences. Line 8. Character 1484.
So it told me how many lines are there and how many characters. And I have the text of the file, the content of the file.
3. Getting. And. Setting. Up. NVD. If.
Okay, so I'm just swiping right to read the words. Now I will change the mode to, or first, before I do it, let's try to...
NVD. Up. Setting. And. Getting. 3.
So this is the number 3. I want to delete it. I'll just double tap and hold.
Manual. Spell. Delete.
And I have the delete.
Manual editing mode
Let's
sentences.
see.
And. Getting. Line. Manual editing. Line. Getting. And. Setting.
Okay, so it was deleted. The same thing can be said about paragraphs and characters. Okay, if I want to edit a portion of the text, let's say a paragraph or a word, because we are in the words navigation type, let's see one word.
Up. NVDA.
Okay, this one.
It's showing English. US. QWERTY. Keyboard.
So now I can use the navigation that I use in the focus mode to move the cursor. Let's say I want to move to the letter D. So
Words. Characters. Capital A. Capital D.
okay, so I want to insert something after the letter D. So I will insert the S.
E. S. S.
Let's see.
Edit content. Star. Words. Character. Capital D. Capital V. S. Capital A.
Okay. So now to save what I've done, I should press on the OK. And if I don't want to save, I just press on the cancel.
Import. Cancel. Manual editing mode sentences.
Okay. So
More. Sentences. Characters. Paragraphs. Paragraphs. If you want to take NVDA from the USB drive using the temporary copy of NV paragraphs.
okay, now I will see the multi-selection mode, which I find it after I press the more.
Export. Import. Multi-selection mode.
When I double tap this, it will use the navigation type that I was using, whether it's characters, words, which is sentences here, and or paragraphs, to select text. And I can't change it while I'm selecting text, so I should select the navigation type that I want before I enter this multi-selection thing.
Manual editing mode paragraph. Line 8. Getting and setting up NVDA unchecked.
Okay, so if I want to check this one, I just
Checked.
double tap.
If you have not yet got a copy of NVDA, you can download it from the Nevada Access web.
Okay, I have
Copy. Delete.
delete.
3.1. Delete. Copy. Cut. Select all. OK.
Okay, delete and cut and copy. Self-explanatory, but if I want to press on the select all, it's not as you will expect that select all will select all the text. Actually, it will switch the selection. So what I was selecting, what I selected before will be unselected, and what was not selected before will be selected. So I just selected the first paragraph. So now if I press on the select all, it will uncheck this paragraph and select everything else. Let's try it.
Select. OK. Select all. If you're running the value of, go to the download section and you will find a link to download the latest version of NVDA. Checked. If you're getting, line 8, getting and setting up NVDA unchecked.
Okay, so now let's press on delete.
Cut. Copy. Cut. Select all. Cut. Delete. Deleted. Copy. Delete. Getting and setting up
And-
NVDA unchecked. Line 1. Granular editing. Export. Cancel. Okay.
I will just press on OK.
Granular. Line. Getting. Search for.
Okay, I want to undo what I did, so I will just
Replace. Undo.
undo.
Search for. 3.1. Portable and temporary.
Okay, so the deletion is now cancelled. I want to show you the replace.
Redo. Redo. Undo. Replace. 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 Enter keyword. Showing English. US. QWERTY.
I
Keyboard.
will type NVDA.
Shift. Caps lock enabled. N capital N. C capital V capital S capital D N. A capital NVDA. Replace with.
And replace with
Showing English. N. N. O. No. N. Non. V. Non. 8. I. Non. A. Non. V. Delete. Non. S. Y. U. Non. Vis. L. Non. Visual. Space. Space. D. E. S. K. T. O. O. Des. P. Desktop. Space. A. V. C. C. E. S. S. Access. Replace.
and hit replace.
NVDA.
Let's see.
Non-visual desktop access. Replace. Replaced. English. US. In running the value of just go to the down if you have not yet getting and setting up non-visual desktop access. Line 8. Get if you have not yet got a copy of non-visual desktop access, you can download it from the Nevada Access website. Go to the download section and you will find a link to download the latest version of non-visual desktop access. Characters. Paragraphs.
Now, if I want to export the text,
Export. Import. Export.
I just press the export. Let's see.
Showing English. US. Q. B. N. Jetting. Delete. Getting.
Okay, so it's
Okay. Getting.
the first word. I can just delete this one and put the name that I want, but
Okay.
I'll keep it.
Granular editing mode paragraphs.
Okay, now it was exported to the notes folder. I will not see an extension. You can just add the .txt extension and you can open it with text editors.
Paragraphs. Multi-selection mode. Redo. Multi-selection mode.
So this is how to edit text using the granular editing mode. Also, you can use this mode in text that is not editable, like in places where you don't have an edit box. Let's see. First, to save or to add what I've done, I should press on OK.
Redo. Undo. Replace. Search. 3. Using the tab. If you want to. If you plan. Export. Paragraphs. Import. Export. Characters. Send. More. Copy. Okay. Keep notes. Saved.
Let's see the note.
Getting and setting up non-visual desktop access. If you have not yet. Getting and set. Title. Getting and back.
So the text was inserted. I can also, of course, press on cancel to cancel what I did. Now, I can use the granular editing mode in other modes, like when I'm using the list browsing mode. Also, I can use it just while I'm on any item.
Home screen 1. Home screen 1. Hollywood.
This is the GoMad application. I'll go to the function menu.
Function menu. Clear. Select. Copy. Append. Paste. Clipboard is favorite. Granular editing mode. Granular editing. Line 1. Gunimate.
I can deal with this one. And
Paragraphs. Characters.
like if I want to have some editing and then export the text, and of course I can't save the changes to the file name here, so the OK will
Cancel.
be unavailable
Granular edit. OK unavailable.
because I'm not on an edit box. But as I said before, I can do some edits to the text and then export or copy the text to be pasted in somewhere else. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Karen. You've been stepping up to the plate and doing these CSR demos, and we really want to appreciate that. And I know that our listeners enjoy that. And thank you so much for another CSR demonstration.
Excellent. It's good to have some commentary screen reader stuff again, as well as TalkBack. But now we move back to TalkBack with this week's TalkBack highlights episode from Warren.
We continue now with our theme of highlights from TalkBack. This is installment 38. In our last installment 37, we started the three-finger gesture heading and we discussed the three-finger tap to invoke the TalkBack menu. We continue now, and for today's demonstration, I am using my Pixel 6 Pro running Android 13 Beta 2.1 and TalkBack 12.2. For speech services, I am again utilizing the Google Speech Services. I am on my home screen and now will tap with three fingers to invoke the TalkBack menu.
Android Accessibility Suite. TalkBack menu.
We are now in the TalkBack menu. And what we're looking for in TalkBack menu is an item that says TalkBack Settings. I'll put my finger down and tap on TalkBack Settings.
TalkBack Settings.
Here is TalkBack Settings, and I'll tap here to activate.
TalkBack Settings. Navigate up button out of list.
I am now in the TalkBack settings, and if you've been following these TalkBack highlights, then you know that it's now time for me to put two fingers in the middle of the phone, and gliding those fingers upwards scrolls down the page to go tap on Customize Gestures. So in other words, when you're navigating through vertical pages and you want to scroll up or scroll down, you put two fingers in the middle of the phone, gliding them upwards scrolls down your page, and gliding them toward the bottom scrolls up the page toward the top. In this case, though, I'll be putting my fingers in the middle of the phone and scrolling upward or gliding upward, which scrolls down my page, so I could tap on the Customize Gestures. I'll now put two fingers in the middle of the phone, glide them upwards, and scroll down my page.
Showing items 5 to
I will now find and tap on Customize Gestures.
Customize Gestures.
Here is Customize Gestures. I will now tap to activate Customize Gestures.
Customize Gestures out of list.
I am now on the customization page of the gestures. What will need to happen now, though, is that we need to change our granularity to the heading's granularity. If you've been following this series, then you know that we have one of three methods of changing our granularities. My preferred, of course, is always the scrubbing up and down with one finger in one fluid movement to change my granularity. However, if you prefer using three fingers, you could swipe down with three fingers, or swipe from left to right or right to left with three fingers, and that too would make it possible for you to change your granularities. I have already set my granularity to the headings, and so all that we need to do now is to swipe down with one finger. So in other words, whether you're using the up-down scrubbing movement with one finger to change your granularity, or using the three fingers to swipe from top to bottom or from left to right or right to left to change those granularities, once you find the heading's granularity, Then what we need to do now is simply swipe down with one finger and keep doing so until we get to the heading that we are looking for. In this case, we're looking for a heading that says 3 fingers. So now I'll swipe down with one finger until I hear 3 fingers.
1 finger, heading, in list.
Here is one finger. I'll swipe down again.
1 finger back and forth, heading.
Keep swiping.
1 finger angle, heading. Showing items 7 to 17 of 51.
Swipe down.
2 fingers, heading. Showing items 17 to 27 of 51.
I am on the 2 finger heading. Now swipe down one more time with that one finger, and that should place us on the 3 finger heading.
3 fingers, heading. Showing items 27 to 36 of 51.
There is our 3 finger heading. And as I indicated, the last thing that we saw last week in installment 37 was,
Tap with 3 fingers, open talkback menu.
and now below that we have the one that we're after, and this time it has to do with screen search.
Tap and hold with 3 fingers, screen search.
Tapping and holding with 3 fingers. So in other words, you tap with 3 fingers, but instead of letting it go, you hold the 3 fingers in place, and that invokes the screen search. So in other words, think of it like you're on a Windows computer and on a document or on a web page, and you're looking for a particular word. All you need to do is do Control F and search or type in the word you're looking for. For TalkBack, however, once we tap and hold with 3 fingers, that should pop up the screen search so we could type in the word we're looking for. I'll now navigate out of here by going home and go open up the Google Discovery page or the Google Feed home page, which is found to the left of the first home screen, so I could look for an article there and see if we could find something to search for. I'll now navigate my way back home.
Pixel launcher.
I am now on my home page, and now using my 2 fingers, putting 2 fingers in the middle of the phone and swiping from left to right, that should take me to the first page to the left of my home screen. So in other words, when you are changing horizontal pages, then all you need to do is put 2 fingers in the middle of the phone and swipe from left to right to move to the previous item, or swipe from right to left to move to the next page. This time I'm looking for the item that is to the left of my first home screen, so I will now swipe from the middle of the phone from left to right.
Pixel launcher. Button. In case you missed it, Pixel Watch sneaks through the FCC with Wi-Fi and LTE models, heading, in list.
Here I am. The first item here has to talk about the Google Pixel Watch, and I'll tap here to activate this page so we could go read it and find something that we could make a screen search for.
Pixel Watch sneaks by us, web view, out of list. Chrome.
It launches my Chrome, and now I'll scroll down the page, and of course putting my fingers in the middle of the phone, that's 2 fingers in the middle of the phone, gliding them upwards to scroll down the page. And then I'll put my finger down and let it read, and then I'll choose a word to search for.
For weeks leading up to the unveiling of the Google Pixel Watch, we watched Google's FCC filings closely for new devices that might be evidence of their first watch. Those filings never came, and it appears now that that's because the Pixel Watch wasn't filed under Google's FCC ID. Instead,
Okay, so it read a little bit and I heard several words. I would look for the word evidence. So now using 3 fingers, I will tap and hold, and that should invoke my screen search.
search term. Showing English US QWERTY keyboard.
I am now in the search field, and all I need to do is type in the word evidence, or simply type EV and see the matches that come up upon typing letters EV. I'll type those 2 letters and see what we get.
E. Showing items 1 to 10 of 81.
I typed in letter E, and we're told that there are a total of 81 matches on my screen. I'll put in letter V as in Victor.
V. Victor. V. Showing items 1 to 4 of 4.
Typing letter V says we now have 4 items, and I could simply put down my finger and find the one that has the word evidence, that is, find a line that has the word evidence, or I could put in letter I to further narrow down my results. I'll type in letter I.
I. India. I. Showing items 1 to 2 of 2.
We're now down to 2, and I'm not going to continue typing. I'll put my finger down and see if I find a line that contains the word evidence.
Filings closely for new devices that might be evidence.
And there is the word evidence there at the last of that line. And that's how you go about doing a screen search using TalkBack. That is, tapping with 3 fingers and holding to invoke the screen search feature.
Thank you very much for that, Warren. And now we just need to wrap up. So, Austin, how can people get hold of us?
For people to locate us, they can email us with their questions or feedback or comments or recording submissions to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. They can browse our website, blindandroidusers.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/blindandroidusers. Subscribe to our mailing list, Blind Android Users, plus subscribe at groups.io. The links for Telegram and Twitter, Clubhouse will be in the show notes with all the other links. So that is it from us this week.
It's been fun today. I've been allowed to drive. Yay! Who says you can't drive when you're blind? Anyway, thank you, everybody. Doug, Austin, and Warren. And I'm Fee. And we'll see you again soon on the Blind Android podcast. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for listening to another clip from the Blind Android Users channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're notified of every new material that we upload. Thanks again for listening to the Blind Android Users channel.